Stay entertained.
Wow. Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. I hope you're all good and doing well. As usual, in our free talk program with your host, TRINAH, and today I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with my guests who are also going to introduce themselves. Then we proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting us today.
Okay.
We are glad to be here. My name is Akamplera Michael. I work as project director for an organization called the Okra Network. Okra Network is an international organization, but its offices are in USA. But our role is to work with African organizations to increase the visibility of African organizations, but also helping them to work together to support communities to get out of poverty. In that, we also run sustainable projects, projects which can tackle the area of health, which can tackle the area of income generation, to make sure that communities can get out of poverty. I'm glad to be hosted here at Fort TV.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm Rachel Namara. I work with Integrity Youth Forum Uganda, and I'm here to implement a project that is funded by the Okra Network Uganda in schools within Fort Portal and the Rwenzori region. So I'm glad to be here.
Okay, you're welcome. So today it is a Thursday and we are going to talk about menstrual hygiene. What do I mean? Let me try to explain to you in our local language so that everyone can understand. Menstrual hygiene nkimanyisa omukazi wena rundi omwisiki wena rukuja mu nsonga zaitu ezekikyara wakuja mu periods. So nomanya nimufulamu very many challenges obokuba ogire mu periods. Abandi if like it's your first time nibikutalibaniza muno no yeralikira, most especially girls in schools abali mu secondary primary no sanga omwana ya jam periods, but it affects that child so much. So that's what we are going to talk about today with my guests. So I think they can also introduce this topic and explain to you more about it.
Okay, thank you so much once again. Menstrual hygiene. When we talk of menstrual hygiene, as you've said, we are talking about the dignity of a girl child, especially when she's experiencing those menstrual changes. And usually, as we all know, that as part of growth, there are some changes we all face, not only girls but also boys. So usually at the time when a girl is entering into puberty stage, of course some changes start coming in, and one of them is experiencing those monthly periods. But now we want to see how we can support those girls, especially those who are coming from underprivileged societies. We call them the active poor societies. Or we can call them the humble backgrounds. Usually we don't say poor backgrounds, but humble backgrounds. Those are the people of our concern, because for most of the children who are coming from well-to-do families, their parents can afford to really support them in this stage or in this period. So the concept of menstrual hygiene, here we are meaning, how do we support a girl child so that she can be proud of those changes? That if a girl is experiencing menstruation periods, she doesn't see it as a shame. She doesn't see it as maybe something bad, or it shouldn't be like a curse on her. But she should embrace it as a God-given gift, because that is the only way she can be a future mother. So now, that is exactly what we are talking about when we talk of menstrual hygiene. So in regard to what we are doing, we want to see how can we support a girl child, one, with information, because information is key, but also how do we support them to access menstrual hygiene services. And here we are talking about reusable sanitary pads. So that is the concept we have today.
Okay.
Maybe my colleague can also expound more on that. Yeah, as we move on.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, TRINAH. More to that, we are training, because we found out, like for example, in a school that we visited yesterday, we found out that most of the girls are not even aware of the different types of sanitary pads on market. Some were even surprised to see the normal Always pads. So we are trying to show them that there are very many options, but in case you cannot afford them, then you can learn how to make the reusable sanitary pads. And we were able to make very many of them, by the way.
Wow.
So
Nice.
we are being hopeful, and we are encouraging the boys to participate, because we need the girls to go through these menstruation periods when they are dignified, when they are happy and supported. So we are yet to go to more other schools.
Okay, if I may ask, why did you choose to start with schools?
Yeah, I can answer that. Yes. The reason why we thought about schools is because most of the girls who are in menstrual stage, most of them are in schools. So why are we starting with them? It's because there has been a high rate of school dropout among girls. Some of them, they even drop out after starting school. But because they reach at school and they can't access menstrual hygiene services, when a girl stains her uniform and the boys laugh at her, tomorrow she doesn't come back to school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we've experienced that. Before we did some survey, and some girls, like in Kapchorwa, you find some girls testifying that I decided not to go back to school because when I stained my uniform, boys laughed at me and I was shy. I asked myself, how do I go back to school? So now we said, okay, because the first and the most important gift you can give to a child is education, let's first go and tackle schools. One, we first sensitize these boys that when your sisters go in periods, it's normal, it's part of their dignity. You shouldn't laugh at them. Instead, you should support them to make sure that, they really appreciate that life cycle. Now, we are also thinking about these girls because being in school, for us to maintain them in school, we need to support them with menstrual hygiene information and also train them how to make reusable sanitary pads so that in the long run, they are able to make their own pads. And when these girls are sensitized, they are our ambassadors, even in the communities where they come from. They will be able to train their family members, but also train other girls in their communities in the same skill. Education is power, and so if someone is educated, he's an influencer in the community. And that's the reason why our schools are the entry points for this program.
Okay. So for how long have you been in Fort, that campaign?
Yes. We've been in Fort Portal for now, this is the 4th day. So we've been, of course we needed a day to prepare, but now we are moving in different schools. And so the campaign will end on Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, but now this is a pilot. As we said, our target is to cover the entire Wenzori sub-region. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to go in all schools or some of them?
We are going to visit. Our target is to visit almost all schools, but because we are doing a pilot, so we are going to visit I would call them the remote, those that are hard to reach, where we did our surveys and found out that the students there have an issue accessing these products that we are trying to talk about. Yes, so we are going to off-town schools, about 20 kilometers from Fort Town. Yes, so that's where we are heading.
Okay. In those schools where you've been, where you've reached, are those girls very free to tell you whatever they are facing, the challenges they are facing in this? Because some of them are shy.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're very right. In the presence of the boys, they are shy. But after explaining the entire system, the biological system, we teach them everything about menstruation and how they need to go about it. Then they open up in the presence of the boys. But there are still some hard things that they cannot ask when the boys are around.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's all about sensitization. The more we talk about it, the more they will get to know that it's normal.
Okay, so do you give them a chance, actually, after meeting them on, do you give them a chance to come and talk to you privately?
Yes, we always have that session where if a girl has any burning issue and she wants it to be private, yeah, we have among the trainers, actually all the trainers are ladies, because we know that a girl child can easily open up to a lady. So there is that session where they can always share that information. But yeah, in most cases, the reason why they keep quiet about all of this, it's because they feel shy, as we've said. But when you first help them understand the concept and how it shouldn't make them shy, they come to understand that it's a normal thing. I will give an example. At the beginning, when you're starting a session, you find that when you talk about issues of menstruation, boys start laughing.
Yeah, of course
Yes.
they do.
But when you remind them that what you're laughing at, your mother's passed through it, your sisters passed through it, you're going to become future husbands, your wives will pass through it, and when you produce daughters, they are also going to pass through it. They find it normal. And this brings me to a point whereby we have to involve these boys into this concept. Yeah, because now for us, our target ideally is girls, but for menstrual health and hygiene to be implemented successfully, we involve in some boys because they are key in championing for this. And it's always our joy when you see boys getting involved in learning how to make these pads. I asked one of the boys, you've made this pad. How are you going to use this skill? He told me, I think when I reach home, I'll be able to teach my mother and my sister on how to make these pads. Actually, this pad I've made, I'm not going to give it to my fellow students here. I'm going to take it home and I give it to my sister. So to us, it was a score because now they are also becoming ambassadors in preaching the message about menstrual hygiene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. So, according to what those girls are telling you, the challenges, what are the most challenges are they facing in school?
One that was major was the price. The price of the sanitary pads is very expensive and their parents cannot afford it. So we address that by teaching them how to make their own pad using the readily available material that they can get. You don't need much. You need cotton, you need plastic. There is those plastic bags that women take to the hospital when they're going to give birth. You just need a small piece. You have a scissor, you have a needle and a thread, then you're good to go. You make your own pad.
Oh, you are teaching them how to make?
Yes, we are teaching them how to make.
Oh, that's nice.
And then another challenge that they raised was the absence of hygiene places at the school. The Ministry of Health actually tasks all schools to have washrooms where girls are able to go and change after 6 hours or 8 hours, depending on the product the girl is using. But some schools have not implemented that, and they find it a challenge. A girl will put on her pad for the entire day until she goes back home. So that is still a challenge, and it's affecting most of the girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can you advise these girls who are using clothes?
Those using clothes?
Yeah, because there are others who can say that me can't afford to get a cotton and whatever you're saying that they should use.
The reason why we thought of bringing this campaign is because we know that's a big challenge. In Uganda here, one pack of pads is around 3,000. It's almost $1. And now, for a girl who is going in menstruation for 3 to 5 days, you'll find that maybe she needs around four packs. And that's almost $4. It's a lot of money for most families, which I've talked about, the active poor families. Now, we thought of this because we know these people cannot afford these disposable pads. Now, if you need $4 every month to buy these pads, and these ones are disposable, after using it, you throw it away. We thought of, why don't we go to these people and teach them how to make pads which you can use for two years. Because with these reusable sanitary pads, if we have at least 4 pairs, you can even use them for 3 years if you know how to maintain them. And now, in the long run, you find it is affordable for every person. Now, as my colleague Rachel has said, these people may not afford the quality, the high quality pad we are talking about. Now, that is to people who can afford to get money, buy materials, and make those good ones. But we can improvise with what people can afford. As she has said, if someone can afford to get a good cotton cloth, it's not so expensive. You can buy maybe 1 meter, and maybe if you have 2 gowns, they share it and make different parts. At least with a meter, someone is able to make maybe 6 to 8 parts. Now, if these 2 girls can share these 8 parts, we teach them how to make them. It is not to the best quality we can talk of, but that pad can still do the work for them, because with cotton, it will not irritate them. It's a good type of cloth they can use. So we are saying that with even little money, someone can have a comfortable cloth which you can turn into a pad, and you're able to solve that challenge we are talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are these other ladies who fear if we use pads, we are going to get cancer. That's what they tell them. Pads causes cancer.
That's a myth. Those are things that society has told us, but they are not right. However, if you use the disposable sanitary pads for a long time, you use one pad for over 8 hours or 12 hours, you're exposing yourself to a risk of infections. So, but there is no cancer in using a sanitary pad.
Okay.
Yes, it's just that you get the infections, then you get a bad odor, and you feel very uncomfortable. And some pads, because there are very many fake products on the market, so they will burn. Someone will get burns in between their genital areas. Yeah, so, but there are very many things that society has put in our minds. That's why we are here to change that mindset, to change what it is to what it should be. Yeah.
Okay. So there are these other ladies in schools who are, when they are in periods, they go and have sex with their partners. They tell them that it is not good at all.
First and foremost, we call them the myth about menstrual hygiene. I will maybe talk about some of them. But before I go to that, she has talked about people using the pad for a long time. The disposable pad, you need to have to put it on for a maximum of 6 hours. But for a reusable sanitary pad, it should be 8 hours. So this proves that a reusable sanitary pad is more favorable and it's better than a disposable pad. And that's why under this campaign we are promoting a reusable sanitary pad. Because with it you feel comfortable and it doesn't burn, but also you can put it on for a long period of time compared to the disposable one. Now back to the myth about menstrual hygiene. Yes, one, we do not discourage school-going children to have sex. That is true because it will add on the burden we have on teenage mothers. Yes. But whether you're old or young, any person who gets sex when is in periods, it's normal. It doesn't have any effect. Only that as a person, it's good to respect your body. Your experience, it's like having sex with someone who has just given birth. You get it? It's not good, and culturally we need to respect our bodies, and you're not going to die for not having sex in those 3 to 5 days. Wait until you're okay, and then you can enjoy your sex. But it doesn't mean that if you have sex during menstruation that it's going to have a negative effect on you. It's not.
Okay.
But for health purposes, but for also enjoyment. Naturally, people associate blood with. Some people are not comfortable with it, but it really doesn't have any effect on you, and it's for only enjoyment and pleasure. There are other myths I can talk about. There are some people who believe that if a girl is menstruating, she shouldn't even cook food for people. Because in some societies, especially here in Uganda, people believe that when you're in a menstruation period, you're dirty, you're unclean. Even in the Bible, by the way, in some cultures, the Jewish cultures, they used to take it like that.
Even at the church,
Yes,
you're not supposed to fast.
I still take it as a myth. Because
even going for prayers, you're not
it's about
supposed
your soul. Now the church is about the soul, not just the body. So those myths are the ones we are even coming up to clear. A girl or a woman who is menstruating is equally clean if she knows how to maintain her hygiene. She can cook, she can do any other work as planned.
Okay.
Yeah. Then also there is also another myth where people think that menstrual blood is poisonous. It's dangerous. That is also another issue. That blood can even kill you. So it's also a myth because this blood is full of proteins. It's your blood. It's just your uterus that ruptures and it produces that blood. That blood comes out. But it's normal blood. It's healthy. No one should fear it. And also actually this goes even to fellow girls. And in our research we found out that most girls opt for disposable pads because they fear touching their blood. The way you can cut yourself and you're free to touch your blood and clean the wound, it is the same blood you use even when you're in menstruation. So we implore to girls, especially actually girls who have gone to school, they don't want to use reusable sanitary pad. And this is also a challenge because they think that blood is dirty. But we are here to clear that is your blood. It's normal blood. Use these pads. And the outgoing girls now, they really don't want to put on the normal knickers because I think naturally they are lazy, they don't want to wash. And that's why now you hear they are disposable knickers. Even in your homes now you're having disposable cups, disposable plates. So that modernity thing is actually affecting most of our girls. But I want to assure girls that they should embrace the reusable sanitary pads. They are good. Your blood is good by just touching it when you're washing the reusable pad.
Just
it really
feel
doesn't
free.
have it doesn't have any effect on you. Yeah.
Okay, so is it okay if like you've removed your pad to clean yourself with soap and water? To clean your vagina with soap and water?
No, because that's very dangerous actually. Because soap is a detergent and it has different ingredients in it. So, and the vagina cleans itself. When you're washing, you don't have to insert fingers.
Yes.
No, that's because your fingers, first of all, are dirty. You've not washed them very well. And every time you wash your hands without soap and running water, bacteria does not leave your hands. So we encourage that you don't put fingers inside your vagina when you're washing. Just wash on top. The inside will clean itself because there is a particular bacteria inside there that helps to clean it. Yeah. Not even the feminine wash. There are very many products on market. Someone will come and convince you that use this. You need to balance your hormones, pH. Those are things that will actually bring infections and diseases to you. You just use clean water. Actually, if you used cold water, that's very better. Cold water. Just wash on the top, rotating around. Don't go deep, just around, outside on the vulva. That is very normal, but no soap. No omo, no detergent.
Okay. Shana, have gentle
No,
wash. Okay, let's first go in a commercial break, then we come back with a second.
Fort TV. Stay entertained.
So welcome back from our commercial break. So let's proceed with our today's topic. Hope everyone is enjoying and learning outside there. How should parents also actually participate in this?
I'll talk about the role of a father because I'm a man, I'm a father, so maybe she will talk about the role of the mother, but I want to talk about the role of the father. You know, when a girl child is growing up, she needs a father figure in her life. And the research has been made that most of successful women we have, you find that they have fathers who are strong in their lives. So even if she didn't have a parent, there was a father figure in her life. There is a way how a father gives confidence to a girl child. That when a father says, "My daughter, you can make it," she will take that word and believe it. So I want to see men taking part in the life of their daughters. So when you stand and tell your daughter that, my daughter, you can make it, your daughter will believe in it. If you're a man and you tell your daughter that, my daughter, you're beautiful, you look good, you'll make it. Even if you are a young boy and you tell a girl that you're beautiful, it's a normal word to her. And actually that's one of the reasons why our girls have gotten spoiled. They have messed up with life. Because there is that vacuum, the parenting vacuum on the side of the father. So when the man comes and tells her, you're beautiful, I love you, she'll run mad. I mean, she'll run mad. But if you are a father and you grow up telling your daughter that, my daughter, you're beautiful, your hair is nice, you're so good. Even when a man comes, even when a man comes, it will be a normal word. And I think that's why the Western world, their daughters don't get spoiled like ours. So most men have not taken the parenting role in the life of their daughters. So now, in the area of menstrual hygiene, I want to see how men will take part. I want to see how, as parents who are men, we will try to sit with our daughters. Because the life of our daughters really depends on us, because it's natural. It's like a boy who has grown up with a mother. There are things a mother will tell the boy, that when you get a wife, this is how they treat women. That word will stick in the life of this boy. So likewise, we the men, we need to come into the life of our daughters. Sometimes we think women will do it, but some women don't actually come in to do it. But also, even when a woman does it, some girls don't want to open up to their mothers, by the way. I have shared with a friend who has told me, my first time to go in periods, I went and told my dad.
Me too.
Wow. So now, those cases have come in. She's comfortable to tell her dad, because she knows naturally, my dad in everything. He will support me, he will sympathize with me. And some girls know, dad is the one who is a breadwinner. So when I tell him I need pads, he will understand. So I really want to see how men will be involved in the life of their daughters. Not only in the area of menstrual hygiene, but even in the normal parenting. If we are to produce successful girls, they need a father figure in their life.
But some fathers, some men, when you go and tell, like you tell your dad, you know what, I'm feeling stomach ache, I need pads. You go and tell your mother.
Now that is the issue now.
Yeah, he sends you to your mom, like as if she's the only one who produced you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're telling men that for you to have a successful daughter, it will not just come by mistake. You must invest time. Don't only give money and you think you've finished your work. Stand in this girl's life. Let her believe in you. You show her the right way. Help her even how she can go on, even during dating stage. Tell her the tricks men use to manipulate them. This girl won't go wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
I would add on what Michael has said. You see, society has focused more on the girl child and neglected the boy child. So girls, when parents are speaking to the children, they only speak to the girls about menstrual hygiene. But who talks to the boys about wet dreams? No one. So if it's a family, let parents sit together with their children and be open. Talk about their things. Let them know that. Let the boys know that my sister anytime is going to have her period, and I should be supportive. But you see, even our parents are shy. My mother cannot talk to me about menstruation. She will never.
She thinks that she will think that she's destroying you.
Not even destroying. She is very shy for life. She will just assume that someone else did. But our mothers need to befriend their daughters. Be open to your children. Let them confide in you. If they have any problem, you should be the first person they talk to. Then, in this campaign, we also want to to involve parents. If we train the students at school, how about their parents? Because a child will go back home with a pad and the mother will just see it as anything.
Yeah, just
But
ignore.
if we extend our campaign and training to the parents in the communities, to churches, then it will be a very big coverage and people will start to appreciate that, oh, so these things are normal. I can talk to my child about the vagina, about menstruation, about anything in front of anyone.
Yeah.
And that's normal. So we want to encourage parents and fathers to be specific, be involved in this campaign.
Okay.
To the mothers, stop being shy. You've gone through it, so everyone will go through it.
Okay.
And let's not neglect the boy child. They also have wet dreams that disturb them.
That's a very tough one.
Okay. So there are these other people outsiders, the society. For them, when they see that a girl child has reached to that stage, they start saying, that one, they are going to pregnant her. That one, she has now become a prostitute. How can you advise such people, the society?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, culturally here in Africa, parenting was not only the role of parents, but the community. For example, when we were growing up, when you would be sent to school and you're dodging school, a person in the community would meet you, get a stick and beat you to go to school. Something that has changed today, it is survival for the fittest. Because now, many parents now, because of different challenges, the society morals have changed. Some people you will think is maybe advising your child, yet he wants to abuse her sexually. Or the person wants to take your child, and the child is maybe taken for that ritual sacrifice, or the child is going to be kidnapped. So because of that, many parents now, they are strict on their children. And the society has changed. The community now no longer values disciplining children. So now we implore other people, the stakeholders in the communities, like the church. Let the church have sessions where they talk about these issues. You know, I'm a believer, but I have a challenge with the church. Sometimes they only concentrate, yes, I'm talking now as a social worker, they only concentrate on preaching the Bible. But there you're only solving the symptom. But the challenge is with community. So now, if the church would, for example, embrace some topics about menstrual hygiene, they try to talk about some of these topics to the parents, but also to the youth. They would really help a lot. We have the cultural leaders. We really implore them to really have programs which are in line with menstrual hygiene. Even the government, we have government programs which are running. How often does the government integrate menstrual hygiene in their normal programs? So now, those key stakeholders in the community are also key in disseminating this information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. So how would you advise these girls who, after using the pads, they just throw them anywhere? You remove the pad, you just throw
I
it
will
there.
talk about the concept of environment. Yes. As a man, now I'm talking as a man. I wouldn't wish to see a used pad. It's not something good to see. Are we together? And now, that point you've brought, it also goes back to what we discourage. Why should we use disposable pads in the first place? We all know these disposable pads, they have an effect on our environment. So when they are not well disposed, you expect them to have an effect on environment. They are also not good to look at, but also they will like block the drainage systems, and you'll find places having floods because these things have not been disposed well. But even when you burn them, that burning, those fumes have an effect on our
destroys the
environment.
environment.
Yeah. So if we are thinking about protecting my environment. The secret is about using reusable pads, but also disposing these pads. For those who still use disposable pads, we need to make sure that we dispose them very well. For schools, let's have those facilities where girls can collectively and clearly dispose these pads. Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it so effective for a lady like these who are using sanitary pads to remove the pad and then keep it, wash it after like 2 days? Yeah, there are those people who do so.
Yeah, those cases are there. In our project, we have what we call plastic bags.
We call them wet bags.
Wet bags. So when you change your reusable pad, you fold it, tie it. It has a button where you tie it, so it becomes very small, like my thumb. Then you put it in your bag and keep it. It is not going to leak. It's not going to smell. Put it in your bag. Go home, wash it. How do you wash it? You must have clean water, cold water. Put your pad upside down. The blood will drain out into the water. Power that water, get another clean water. Now you can put your detergent and wash and dry. But still, the thing of health and hygiene is a very big topic that is continuous. So not everyone is going to say, I'll wash today. Maybe today there was no water, I'll wash tomorrow. So they keep their pads for some days. But that's not hygienic, like we've said. It's not good. It will bring bad smell in the house, wherever you've kept it. You even attract bad rats.
To come and look for
and flies, and sometimes someone will forget and put it on again, which is not healthy. So we don't advise anyone to keep their reusable pad unwashed for more than a day. So you're supposed to wash it immediately you've removed it. And
so people outside there who would like to get these sanitary pads, where can they find them?
Okay. They are in supermarkets. Even here in the Fort Portal town, when you go in supermarkets and you ask for a reusable sanitary pad, they are there on the market. Usually they pack them in 2 pairs, and a pair may go for around 9,000 or 8,000.
For a villager, it is very expensive.
Like $2.50. So it's expensive, and that's why we believe that when we skill people, when we give skills to people, it is cheaper in the long run when you buy material and make your own than just buying in the supermarket. But also, much as it is expensive, you're not using it once. You're using it for maybe 2 years. If it is well taken care of, very well. So now, in the long run, you'll find it cheaper. Much as buying it at the beginning looks to be higher, the price is higher than the disposable pad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your target? What are your targets in this campaign in helping these people?
Yes. For this pilot, we have been thinking about empowering 300 girls. But now we are getting even more, because even the boys. I had a challenge yesterday when I talked to the administration of the school, and I told them our major interest is the girls. They told us, no. Even our boys have said that they want to be banned. And we had like 20% of the people who are trained. I think like 30%. We are also boys. So now our target has now changed. We want to see how we can wholesomely tackle this issue. So, but as I've said, our target right now has been 2 schools for this pilot. But when we get more resources, we intend to roll it out in the entire Rwenzori sub-region, but even other parts of the country, because we operate countrywide.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for how long have you been doing this? We got the vision of starting this after COVID, when
there was a high rate of teenage pregnancy. And usually for us social workers, when there is a challenge, the first thing you do is to do research.
Yeah.
You want to know why are we having this? And that's why we started interviewing some girls, and they told us one of the reasons why they gave birth. A lady tells you, it was not my plan to give birth at 13, but during COVID, as a lady, we were home, our parents had no money, I had no money, we couldn't even move to go and work, but I needed pads. So I met one of the guys whom I knew. He was riding a motorcycle, these border cyclists. He told me he was going to give me 5,000. And I couldn't miss that money because I needed money to buy a pad. And that's how I became pregnant. So now you feel concerned because this was a big issue. And so that's when we started programming on how we can tackle this problem.
Okay.
So from COVID, we started the preparations. Of course, we never had resources. We started writing the concept and reaching to people who can support us. Of course, resources have never been enough, but we can't sit down because money is not there.
Okay.
And that's why we are even starting small with the little we have. We believe that when we get more resources, we shall reach as many schools as possible. Yeah.
So how do you benefit in doing this?
Maybe I'll talk about myself. She also talk about
Yeah, benefits.
I'm a social worker by profession, and I have passion for communities. I feel happy when I'm adding value to the society. So for me, when I see a problem being solved, I'm part of the solution. That's where my satisfaction is.
Okay.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We are not paid to do this work, but we are doing it because we want to add value. We want to see our contribution to the community. That's me. Maybe she can also talk about herself.
Personally, it's service above self. Think about others. Because I've been through it at some point in my life, so I want to have an impact to another person. And this campaign, this reusable pad can be a source of income for a person. So it's basically help hold another person's hand to see them change.
So thank you so much for for this. By the way, people are learning. I know that everyone there is learning, and you can also be ready to teach others about this. So as we conclude, what advice would you give to parents, girl child, boys outside there on how to handle this issue?
To the parents, support your children. If you can have your children participate in how to make a pad, a reusable pad, that is a very big resource and skill in your family. To the children, stay in school and open up. Speak about anything hygienic that you're facing, and there is always someone waiting to help.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, on my side, I'll talk about stigma. We need to embrace these changes, which our sisters and our mothers experience. Men, it is possible to help community by actually informing other people that menstruation is not a curse. Menstruation is it's there to actually improve the dignity of a girl child. I imagine if I have a daughter and she's 22 years and she has never experienced menstruation period, would you be a happy person?
Of course not.
There you're sure that there are no children in the future. You're not going to have grandchildren.
Yeah.
So I really want us to embrace this as God-given gift. It's part of the dignity of our girls and our wives. We need to embrace it, but also where there is stigma, we need to come in and defend the right of the girl child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good then. So we thank you so much. Hapo kuja kutuegesa you know, there are people outside there, they would like to know more about such a things, but they don't have that opportunity. So if like people like you keep coming here teaching them, ekintu kijja kuba massive, kiba kirungi, everyone learns. So for today, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support always. Kandi mugume hoga ntuba entertaininga. We have very many programs. You enjoy music, comedy, and many more. I think for today, katugarukire hano, leka tubagondeze ekiro kirungi. Bye bye.